Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing well, and I'm so excited you decided to brighten your day with a little mathematics. Up on the screen is the topic of the day. We are going to talk about translating algebraic expressions. So essentially what we're going to do, we are going to be given a phrase in word form, like the one you see on the screen, a number p increased by 22. And we're going to generate or translate that statement into an algebraic expression, into a math problem. Very beneficial for you this lesson. From Brightspace, there is a handout called Translating Expressions Handout. I would print that out if you can, or have it on your screen as a reference, because it gives you a lot of great words to look for that mean different mathematical operations. For example, up here, addition, we have plus and total of, altogether, increased by, combined, add, sum, together, more than, added to, in all, make. Those are all words that mean addition. And if we see that word in a verbal expression, we know it's talking about addition. Subtraction words over here on the right, subtract, gave, take away, decrease by, fewer, minus, shared, fewer than, less than, difference, less, all words meaning subtraction. Down further, we have multiplication words, times, triple means to multiply by 3, double means to multiply by 2. Product, of course, is an answer to a multiplication problem. Multiplied by, here's a big one in capital letters. We see a lot in 6th grade. Of means to multiply. Increase by a factor of, twice, and multiple, also multiplication words. Division words, quotient of, per, ratio of, divided by, half means to divide by 2. Divisor, divided into, percent, split up. Don't worry about the equals words. We will cover those when we study equations in a couple weeks. But you do need to be mindful of parentheses words, or words that mean we need grouping symbols. The biggest one you'll see most frequently, the quantity of, but things you could also see that mean we need parentheses in our expression, twice the sum of, times the difference of, and plus the difference of. So if you have access to that handout, I would highly recommend it. Use it as we work through this lesson, translating algebraic expressions. So our first example is back on the screen, a number p increased by 22. And if you want to grab a sheet of paper and work through this with me, I think I'd be very helpful for you. Let's start with the first part of this. We have a number p. Now, p is a variable representing an unknown value, a number we don't know. So to represent that unknown number, we are just going to use the variable p. Next, we have the phrase increased by. Now, straight from our handout, we see increased by is a word that means addition. So this is an addition expression. So we have p increased by. I'm going to replace increased by with a plus sign for addition. And then very simply at the end, we just have 22. So a number p increased by 22 would be written as p plus 22. All right, let's do another example together. The verbal expression, we have 15 divided by a number r. This was pretty straightforward. First part of our expression, just the number 15. The next phrase we have divided by. Obviously, this is division. So I'm going to put my division sign. And then what are we dividing 15 by? We're dividing it by a number r, an unknown value represented by the variable r. So I have 15 divided by r. One other way I want you to think about division. Remember, division, especially as we start getting algebraic with our math, division will be represented in fraction form more often than not. That fraction bar in a fraction, just another way to show division. So 15 divided by r could also be written as 15 divided by r in fraction form. Both of these are correct, 15 divided by r, 15 divided by r. What I would like you to try to do is start getting used to showing division as a fraction. The first number goes on top, and what you're dividing by, the divisor, will be your denominator on the bottom, 15 divided by r, because that is how you'll see division more often in my class, and especially once you get to high school mathematics. All right, another example. We have 12 more than a number y times 8. In this phrase, there is a key word you should always be on the lookout for when you are translating verbal expressions, and that is the word than. As soon as you see the word than, alarms and bells should be going off in your head, because something very special or very unique needs to happen in this situation. When you have the word than, anything that is written after the word than needs to come and be the beginning or the front of your expression. Anything that occurred before the word than gets shifted to the end of your expression. So here's the word than. I'm going to take the phrase after the word than and make it the beginning of my expression. We have a number y, so the variable y, times 8. So I'm going to write y. I'm going to use a dot for multiplication times 8. Try to get out of the habit of using x for multiplication, because with variables, that's going to start looking like an x. Start using the dot for multiplication. So we have a number y times 8, and then coming to the end of my expression is 12 more. More is a key word that means addition, so I'm going to put my plus sign, and then of course we have 12 at the end. Y times 8 plus 12. That's correct. That's good to go. There is a better way to write this, though, especially since we're speaking algebraically, and it occurs in this first term, y times 8. When I am multiplying a number times a variable, I can actually have those two values touching each other to insinuate multiplication without actually writing the multiplication dot. The only thing you need to be mindful of, though, if you do that, the number must come first. So y times 8 can really be written as 8y. 8 is touching the y with nothing in between. That means 8 is being multiplied times y. And I can do plus 12. Both of these are correct, y times 8 plus 12 or 8y plus 12. I would accept both, but the proper way to write this, the way we want to write this algebraically as a mathematician, is 8y plus 12. All right, another example on the screen. Work through it with me, please. 7 times the difference of d and 4. The beginning of our phrase says 7 times. So we have the number 7. We are multiplying. Now, this is the tricky part. What are we multiplying 7 by? It's not 7 times d. It's not 7 times 4. It's 7 times the difference. And if you remember from our algebraic expression handout, difference is a word that insinuates subtraction. So I want to do 7 times the difference, the answer to the subtraction of d and 4, which means I need to have d minus 4 calculated before I can multiply. And in the order of operations, the only way to have subtraction occur before multiplication is to use parentheses or grouping symbols. So I'm going to put the difference of d and 4, d minus 4, in parentheses. If you write this without parentheses, 7 times d minus 4, you're not multiplying 7 times the difference. You're multiplying 7 times d. These parentheses ensure that this difference will be calculated before we multiply by 7. So 7 times the quantity of d minus 4. That's correct, but we can make this a little bit better. We can show multiplication by having this coefficient 7 touching the grouping symbols with nothing in between. That would still mean multiplication. So the better formatting for this expression would be 7 times the quantity of d minus 4, having that 7 touch. Both are correct. I wouldn't mark either of them wrong, but this second one is a little bit better. All right, we got one more example, I believe. 4 less than a number m. Hopefully you're getting familiar with these, and I hope you notice an important word right out of the gate. Than. Do you remember what it means as soon as you see the word than in an expression? It means you need to flip the end of your expression to the beginning, and the beginning of your expression, anything that occurred before the word than, to the end. So coming to the front of my expression, a number m, that's just the variable m, and 4 less going to the end. Less means to subtract, so we are subtracting 4. 4 less than a number m would be written as m minus 4. All right, guys, on your screen I have 4 more verbal expressions for you. The sum of 2 and a number k. 15 decreased by the product of 8 and w. Q fewer than 10, and 1/3 times the sum of 14 and x. Please pause the video, translate these verbal expressions into algebraic expressions on your own, and then resume playing the video again to check to see how you did. All right, let's take a look and see how these translate. Hopefully you've given yourself enough time to complete these. The first one, the sum of 2 and the number k. So sum means we're adding. We should be adding 2 and k. So this expression would be 2 plus k. 15 decreased by means we are subtracting, and we are subtracting it by the product, which means we're multiplying, of 8 and w. So product of 8 and w means 8 times w. And because multiplication would already occur before subtraction in the order of operations, you don't need parentheses around this. But we can make it a little bit better. We can make 8 a coefficient on w. We can show this multiplication by having the 8 touching the w. So the best way to write this expression would be 15 minus 8w. Number 3, q fewer than 10, than. That means 10 is coming to the front of my expression. Fewer means to subtract, and we are subtracting the value of q, 10 minus q for number 3. And the final one, 1/3 times the sum of 14 and x. We have 1/3, that's a fraction, 1/3, times, we are multiplying 1/3 times the sum, meaning I need the answer to an addition problem before this multiplication can occur. And the only way to have addition happen before multiplication is to put that addition in parentheses. So we want the sum, we're adding 14 and x. 1/3 times the quantity of 14 plus x. A better way to format this, we can actually show this multiplication by having the 1/3 touch the outside of those grouping symbols. So both are correct, 1/3 times the quantity 14 plus x. Please be sure to complete the independent practice assignment on translating algebraic expressions. Use that handout if you need a reference for the different words that mean all of the operations. Take a picture of your work and upload that file for submission. I'll see you guys next time.